The New York Knicks' biggest weakness just got absolutely exposed, as a reporter has exposed something that the Knicks have been trying to hide this season, which does give a lot of contenders a key way to beat them. However, one Knick in particular is shocking everybody right now, and it is exactly the time for this to happen, as the Knicks desperately needed something good to go down for this team, and they have had somebody who has been absolutely huge for them. We're going to go over all that, discussing the player and what he's been doing, while also breaking down this Knicks weakness that does definitely have me concerned regarding the Knicks and their future, because it's something that cannot happen. It's something that if the Knicks do struggle to repair this, there will be some turmoil come down the line this season and also in the playoffs as well if teams can figure this out. But guys, before we jump into all that, if you're part of that 56% that's not subscribed to Knicks Digest, make sure to go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss a single New York Knicks update. We have videos coming out every single day on the New York Knicks. We have all the latest news, reports, updates, and everything else in between. So if you want to stay up to date on everything New York Knicks and show your friends that you know ball, this is the place to be, but also don't gatekeep it for that reason. Let your friends know Knicks ball. Let's do this thing, guys. There's a lot to go over on the team right now because, look, as we know, when a new coach comes in, usually weaknesses tend to change. Whatever your team was doing wrong, that coach goes out there and says, well, somebody got fired for this reason. In this case, it's Mike Brown saying Tibbs got fired for this reason. He didn't use enough lineups. He didn't play the bench enough. He didn't do this, that, or the other thing. He didn't run offensive sets. All this stuff culminated in the Knicks firing Tom Thibodeau. Jalen Brunson had the ball too much. It wasn't conductive to a lot of winning, because then what we saw was the fact that Mikal Bridges got iced out. OG Anunoby sometimes got iced out. What happened from that? The Knicks ultimately didn't use their rotational and role-playing guys the same way that the Pacers and the Thunder did, and the Knicks didn't make the finals, so the Pacers and the Thunder did, and it shows what they have to do. All that stuff being said, here's the issue. There's one thing that has not changed. It's the same thing that happened last year, and it's something that's less surface level on the front of, well, this feels like why he got fired, instead of, what is happening here? Why are we not fixing this? What's the true issue? And that is the fact that the Knicks are just really abysmal at letting teams hit threes on them. That is something that has not changed. This was a problem last year. It's now a problem this year. This season, the Knicks rank third in opponents' three-pointers made per game, and that means I'm ranking them third in the sense that they are ranked 28th. They allow the third most threes per game. So, with that in mind, we look at the teams above them. Well, the Utah Jazz are terrible, but nope, the Pelicans are terrible as well. Maybe below them, no, Clippers are really bad, and the Grizzlies are a dumpster fire turning to a fire sale. So, we see the Knicks are an absolutely atrocious company right here. They allow teams to hit a ton of threes on them, and though they have ran teams off the line better than the other teams that they're with, the Pelicans, the Jazz, the Clippers, the Grizzlies, they've allowed more three-pointer attempts. There's also other issues, and that is that we see the Knicks are fifth in opponent three-point percentage. One team is allowing their opponents to shoot over 40% from three. That's the Charlotte Hornets. They suck. In second place is the Brooklyn Nets. They suck. The Spurs are good. The Clippers, we know the deal there. It's James Harden against the world. Then there's the Knicks. Below them are the Jazz, who are awful, the Wizards, who are historically awful, the Grizzlies, who, as I said, are a dumpster fire that's about to go selling everybody away, the Portland Trailblazers are one of the better teams here, and no shade towards the Trailblazers, I'm a big fan of what they got going on there, not the Chauncey Billups gambling, the play on the court looks very good. And then also the Cleveland Cavaliers, who, as we all know, if you've been watching this channel for a while, are massive frauds who are never going to win anything with this core. So, the Knicks are not in good company right here. We don't see teams that are favorites to winning. We don't see the Nuggets. We don't see the Thunder. We don't see teams that are doing well this season, like the Raptors or the Pistons. We see the Knicks are here. The Knicks, the same team that is a 6th seed right now and should not be, considering they're the Knicks. This should be their year of dominating the Eastern Conference. Now, on top of that, subscribe or apply. But that threw me off. But on top of that, we also looked at the Knicks. They have made 24.8 threes per game. That's 9th in the league. A problem with that is they hit from only 13th on the percentage list. So there are some issues there. Now, Ian Begley did discuss this as well, talking about a problem, and he said, based on the evidence, it's a personnel thing. That's where this team is just limited because of the makeup of this roster. They've done a good job at controlling the paint and keeping the teams out of the paint. but getting out to shooters once their rotations has been tough. Given we had so much evidence last season that they struggle in that area of the game, and most of the guys are back and they're struggling again, I think it's just a limitation of the roster, and I'm not sure how much can be done to fix that. Bagley continued by saying, you're giving up a lot of open looks, especially on the kickouts in penetration, so I think that maybe it's something you have to get used to if you're a Knicks fan. Here's my problem with this. Mike Brown, the big thing about his offenses are called spray threes. The spray three-pointer, I don't know why he calls them that if I'm being completely honest, but it's a drive and kick three. You drive in, you get the ball into the paint, defense collapse, boom, kick out, open shot. Love it, beautiful offense. I would run the same thing if I were a basketball coach. Here's the issue on hand. Why is he so adept to letting teams do that against him? We saw the Warriors do this against the Kings in a 7-game series. They started doing the same kickouts against the Kings. Remember a while back when I said Mike Brown does have his blind spots that we should be worried about? This is what I'm talking about. Why? Why is Mike Brown not able to stop the exact offense that he's running? Shouldn't, as the coach, you should know how to stop that offense, so when a team does eventually stop that offense, and no matter how good that offense is, once in a while, it's going to get stopped. It doesn't mean it's going to get figured out fully, but it's going to get stopped. All offenses get stopped based off teams having a good defensive night, teams having a bad offensive night, few other intangible reasons as well based off personnel and lineups and all that stuff. But look, at the end of the day, this is not something that should happen when you run the same offense. The problem is the offense being ran against the Knicks has turned into this. Why? Because the Knicks are so obsessed with protecting the paint. Now, Tibbs and Mike Brown are both excellent coaches, and they both believe in protecting the paint very heavily. The problem is neither one of them has won a championship as an NBA head coach, both as assistants, but not as head coaches, where teams have been good three-point shooting teams. At the end of the day, you can win a championship without being the best three-point shooting team in the world. It's just the case. If you weren't, the Knicks wouldn't have beat the Celtics. And yeah, teams sometimes shoot poorly. If you can beat them up and, like the Knicks, grind it out a lot of the time like they can, shooting gets harder because you get more exhausted. But this is going to become a problem against teams that can hit threes. That's just the fact of the matter. Again, when we look at the teams that make the most threes per game, if the Knicks were to play the Cavs in the playoffs, the Cavs hit a lot of threes and do it off a lot of kickouts based off good offensive rebounding numbers. The Bucks, the defense collapses on Giannis, you kick it out to a shooter. The Suns, never mind, because they're a mess. The Celtics still have Joe Mazzulla as the head coach. The Thunder can hit threes because they're great. The Bulls are hitting threes because Josh Giddey loves to attack the paint and usually has a good amount of shooters around him. So we're seeing these teams that are hitting threes, and it's becoming an issue for the Knicks at this point. Why are the Knicks so unable to stop this? It's an issue. Now, on top of that, you start to wonder, are the Knicks going to live and die by the three? Something Bagley talked about and said, you can shoot your way out of a game if you're just fully consumed with making the game a math project. But I think the difference between the Knicks and the Celtics is that the Knicks are getting quality looks. Jalen Brunson even pointed out that even at the end of the shot clock looks that they have, they may seem rushed, but there's an order there, and there's a step-by-step process to get to that place, which is obviously great news. And Ian Bagley did say they chart the quality of three-point shots they take. They chart the quality of the contest. Assistant coach TJ Saint, as shown in the photo, brought that over, and you're going to see the Knicks focus there on getting good looks, not shooting threes to shoot them. More often than not, it's a good look. It's a rhythm shot. If they start to just chuck, then it's a different story. But I think they're really good there on the shooting. Another area where the Knicks are really good is their offensive rating. They still have one of the best offensive ratings in the NBA. They're still good. They're just having a weird stretch overall with the way they're playing, and they're going to have to solve it, and it's not going to take too long before fans fully turn on Mike Brown if they don't solve the road record. I'm sorry, but we know how this goes. We know how fast it'll turn, and it's why I was lukewarm on the Mike Brown signing in the first place. I think he's a good coach. I think he's great in his first year, but at the same time, he has blind spots, and they've gotten exposed in the past, and we just saw one. Now, on top of that, something that's been a blind spot of many people is how damn good Mikal Bridges has been, especially since since OG went down with the injury. As Tommy Beer mentioned, Mikal Bridges has been a demon defensively since OG went down. Over the Knicks' 5 games, their last 5 games, Bridges is averaging 3.2 steals and 2 blocks per game. And according to Basketball Reference, he's the first player with multiple steals and at least 1 block in 5 straight games since none other than Patrick Aloysius Ewing, who many would point out as the greatest player in New York Knicks history. I think it's Clyde. And on top of that, it's just excellent to see that somebody is playing well on the Knicks right now. So is Brunson. So is Mitch. Guys are playing well, but they just need to really start to lock in and fix some of these issues. Obviously, Mikal is one of the best defenders in basketball, especially in a help defensive setting. They should be able to intercept a lot of these kickouts or also find a way to contest them. We actually saw that against the Celtics. The difference is, there's a new coach now. We're going to see how that works against other teams because obviously the Celtics, nobody's really expecting them to be in the second round of the playoffs next year. But guys, what do you think about all this? Let me know in the comments down below. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a wonderful day, guys. Go Knicks.